Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Report reaching us right now is that Aunty Igbi is insisting that she is going to Scotland to represent the monarch in that event, whether they like it or not. Allegedly, that she has, gone through so much marginalization a lot that some of the wives will travel and travel with the private jet, and others will travel, they will not be able to travel with the private jet because Ooni of Ife is making it look as if he purchased the private jet with Dr. Elizabeth, and he is doing that so that others will not use their private jet. Now, I have told you this, and this is a quick disclaimer. It's important to understand that these are all alleged information. I do not live in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. I am not related to them. I'm just a blogger, okay? So bear that in mind. Write it in bold letters in your consciousness when you come to this blog. Okay, so they said that she is saying, Aunty Igbi is saying that it's never going to happen again. That since inception, when she got married to the Ooni of Ife, she's made to represent the Ooni of Ife, Shogu and all of that. She does not do any of the international representation, and she is going this time. As a matter of fact, she is going with the private jet because there are other places she needs to visit, and so she can see her family and friends. You do know that she comes from a very wealthy family, and they have spread across, the US, Amsterdam, Ukraine, and all of that, Dubai, like they are all over the place. And so she's taking out time now to go. Now, they say the reason why she is insisting on doing this is because they said after the marriage, after the traditional marriage with the Ooni of Ife, they were supposed to go for a honeymoon that never took place. And the reason was because Ooni said that at that time they were campaigning, that he was very busy with the campaigns and he would not be able to take all of them on honeymoon because, that would be so much. 6 wives, so how many months are you going to spend doing honeymoon? But she is insisting that Ooni took some for honeymoon and did not take her, and they went in that private jet and all of that. She's never had the opportunity to do things. When it comes to local representation, they bring her in. When it comes to international representation, they take other people. This time she is doing it and taking it by force, whether they like it or not. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Delaram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the source. Is still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. I'm grateful. Esheo adukbeo. Now, for the Muslims, Ramadan Kareem, I wish you the best. I wish you all the strength that you need for your spirit to be where it's supposed to be. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So if all the information we keep getting, okay, from different spaces of social media and other people is to be true, it therefore means that, deliberately there must be a festival of altercation right there in the palace. Because if you say that you want to go and represent Oni, whether he wants it or not, well, that is one thing. But saying you're going with the private jet is another thing, because the last time we checked, from what we are hearing, they say the private jet belongs to Dr. Elizabeth and the Ooni of Ife. Okay, now how we had this, allegedly they said that Ooni has always had a private jet, but for some reason the private jet started developing a lot of problems, and for the longest of time, after he stopped using his own personal private jet, he was using the private jet that belongs to his adopted daughter, Dr. Elizabeth Jack Ridge. And so when he got married to, Dr. Elizabeth, when I talk about Dr. Elizabeth Jack Rich and I talk about Dr. Elizabeth, a lot of people get confused, okay? Now, Dr. Elizabeth Jack Rich happens to be that beautiful, that curvy, that very soft woman that is married to that politician, okay? That happens to be Ooni of Ife's adopted daughter, okay? Then Dr. Elizabeth happens to be his wife, a very beautiful lady again, and the last woman who moved into the palace. A lot of people are calling her his last wife. It's important to understand that Dr. Elizabeth is not the last wife to the Ooni of Ife. As a matter of fact, allegedly, I heard that she is the second wife to the Ooni Ooni of Ife. Like after they married Miriam, they married her before they started marrying others. But they said something happened, she didn't come. And after like 6 months, she decided to move from Scotland into the palace of the Ooni of Ife. And that's why a lot of people think that she was the last wife. Like as at when she came, people said that Ooni had married another wife, but they say they married her, the same time they were marrying others. So I don't digress. Now, why I talked about, festival of altercation in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, with due respect, it's because I do know that there's always like altercation over very little thing. If you say you want to go to Scotland, hire a private jet if you must go with a private jet. But if you say you must use the private jet that is obviously belonging to Ooni of Ife and Dr. Eliza, because they say they put resources together to get that private jet. Even recently, they said because of unstable pilot, they've not been even using it, that they have been hiring private jet. That even the last trip that the Ooni of Ife made, they said some lady said that they flew, that something that he saw only in the airport. Okay, and so if you say that you must use that private jet, then it means that it's trouble you're looking for, because I'm not going to buy a private jet and you come and use it without my permission. So allegedly, they say she is saying that the marginalization in the palace is too much. You cannot go and marry so many women, and you choose to love some over some. She's not going to take it again. And you know that there's this alleged information that she said that nobody is going to put her out of her matrimonial home. She's not living anywhere. That nobody asked Queen Naomi to leave the palace. That Queen Naomi is the one who is not comfortable coming back to meet them in the palace. That she is not the one who is asking Queen Naomi not to come back. That if Queen Naomi wants to come back to her matrimonial home, Queen Naomi should come back and meet them right there in the palace. But for anybody to tell her that she needs to leave for Queen Naomi to come, who is Queen Naomi? And right now, she is saying their marginalization, Kabiesi's marginalization is too much, allegedly. She's not going to let that happen anymore. She's going to take whatever she needs to take. She's going to go to Scotland. So the thing is that, is it everything? Like everything has to be a problem. Everything has to cause problems. I was thinking that one of the major reasons why Kabiesi married such, these matured women was to ensure that he gets that peace that they say he never used to get with wives. And with one thing a lot of women do not know about men is that when you begin to put pressure like that on men, they tend to estrange themselves from you. And I think this happens to be one of those reasons why he will always find a way, kind of navigate his way back to Queen Naomi, because it does seem as if the only place he gets complete peace is with Queen Naomi. A lot of people have said it, and they said that is the reason why he loves Queen Naomi, and he will always, always want to be with Queen Naomi. Now, so it's a private jet saga that is going on in the palace, and the issue of local representation and international representation. They say that has been the gospels, that it has made her cry. Allegedly, it has made her call on people. It has made her talk about condescending and disposition that she's getting, and she never thought that was going to happen. That if she had known that things were going to be this way, that she would have made better choices for herself, or choice for herself. That she never knew that there will be this level of competition, and there will be this level of marginalization among the wives, and some people are gifted stuff when they need, and others are made to take care of themselves right there in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. That when you hear that people are quarreling, wives are quarreling, is because of the seed that are being planted, and that she's not going to take it anymore, and she's going to take the bull by the horn. She'll do what she wants to do. She's going to live her life to the fullest, and she's going to ensure that nobody marginalizes her again. On top of person private jet. So a question a lot of people are asking right now is that who really owns the private jet? Is it Ooni of Ife, or is it Ooni of Ife and Dr. Lizzie who own that private jet? Because they said Aunty Igbi is saying that it belongs to Ooni of Ife, not Dr. Lizzie, and that Ooni of Ife just made it that way so that others will not use the private jet, so the private jet will be reserved for Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi alone, and she is not going to buy into that again. That anything that belongs to Ojaja belongs to their family, they are family, and you cannot choose who is cared for or who is taken in the private jet and who is not. Now, the private jet cannot be reserved for Olori Elizabeth and of course, Olori Elizabeth and Queen Naomi alone. That they all have right to use the private jet, just as they have right over Kabiyesi, because he is their husband. He married them and brought them into the palace. If he wasn't going to be comfortable, he shouldn't have married them. But right now that he has married them and brought them to the palace, they all have right to everything that belongs to the monarch. And they say that is what she's saying, and that like she's crying and making a whole lot of fuss over this allegedly the private jet, the Scotland thing. She is going, and she wants to use this opportunity to see members of her family who are in Scotland and all of that. And she's not going to allow them that any Oshogbo, any Ikiri, any Abiokuta, any event that way. They should reschedule it. Dr. Timitokwa is there. All other Oloris are there. They should never put it on her again that she is not going to do. No more local representation while others are busy flying about doing international representation. Polygamy is not your mate. If you want to go into polygamy, you need to ask questions to understand that it is not a tea party affair. And so, not about, I want to be polygamy, I want to be polygamy. Will you be able to manage this kind of crisis that comes with polygamy, this unhealthy competition and all of that? Will you be able to manage it? So, this is what is going on from what we're hearing. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.